Welcome, Kara Secure family. It is such a pleasure to be with you. It's August. Many of you are still enjoying the summer, but let me tell you, I'm here for this very reason is to prep you for one of the biggest months of the year. Yes, that's right. It's September, and September is a magical month because we help those that are suffering and we engage with them to improve the communities that we live in. And boy, do we need more help than ever. I know the opioid crisis has been weighing on our minds for many, many years now. And I know that we have made progress, but we're not there yet. And so I want to start with first and foremost thanking you for joining me today because what I'm about to share with you is the preparation for September. If we prep right and we prepare for that event, we're going to be able to masterfully put chiropractic back in the center. And remember, there's a couple of things about September that are really important. That is number one, we alleviate pain for our community, and that is never underestimated. Number two, we prevent. And if there's one thing we can do is to start with our youth, even the youth that are in sports, is to share how important chiropractic is so that they don't have to suffer. And I want to start with a quote before we get started today. And it is, in fact, by Aristotle. So this goes back many, many, many moons. And it's something that chiropractic should embrace. It's the aim of the wise is not to secure pleasure, but to avoid pain. And that to me is exactly what we do. We prevent. And when it is unfortunate, we alleviate. But at the end of the day, what we do very well is optimize. So if we can jumpstart your life today in your practice, it's to remember the importance of those three words: prevent, alleviate, optimize. And that is for a whole being approach. So let's jump into September. This is Streamlining September's Key Resources for Drug-Free Pain Management Awareness Month. And as you know, many of these sponsors come with us everywhere we go. Secure has been phenomenal in the support and the outreach to communities to be able to educate and often mitigate problems that may come our way. So thank you to Secure. Now, you've seen this month before, but I want you to re-engage. Sometimes we need to start fresh and we need to think about who's suffering and why they're suffering. And now we know the CDC has changed their 65-page guideline to not be drug-free, but in fact non-opioid. And when it comes to pain management, non-opioid still means over-the-counters and different medications. It's just not focused on opioids. That's why I think chiropractic needs to be first and foremost at the ready to discuss why Drug-Free Pain Management Awareness Month is so important. Because, when you look at the Adjusted Reality episodes that are out there, that podcast is making a difference. One of them was, in fact, the cause of a Tylenol victim that unfortunately lost the battle because of a Tylenol unintentional overdose. And that Katie's Cause podcast, that was a big, big, well listened to episode. And I want you to reflect on what that means in your community. Many times it's innocent that we take Tylenol in terms of thinking it's safe, but there are adverse events for every medication we take. And that's why we want people to become much more aware. And that's why this September Drug-Free Pain Management Awareness Month is a roadmap to success for alleviating the people that are really truly suffering. And it's about being able to manage chronic pain. Did many of you know out there that 97% of prescription drugs are written for chronic problems, chronic conditions? And many of them, the top four, as an example, cardiovascular, obesity, hypertension, and diabetes, many of them have options that can prevent them from happening in the first place. And who is the best person to, in fact, be able to share that information? You're right, it's you. And it's you if you get active and you get your staff active with you. There can't be success without a team. And that team means everyone on your clinic roster should be involved. Back office manager, front desk person, perhaps you have an intern, a resident, or a associate doctor. Get them all involved. This year, we're celebrating with even more sponsors that have honored to work with us and committed to countering the opioid epidemic. And they don't actually call it, according to the AMA, an epidemic anymore. They call the actual problem is use, an opioid use. And that to me fundamentally really doesn't come across as something an average consumer really fully appreciates or understands. We still are having people unfortunately leave us early because of misuse, abuse, and unfortunate use. So if you look at these sponsors that are here to help us, Katie's Cause is the one I just brought up. We were just at Florida Chiropractic Association, but many of them are here to really get that message out. Now, getting the message out. How do you pass a proclamation? Oh, yes, I know you've heard me say this for 5, 6, or 7 years, and you thought about it, but you're like, I don't have time for this. You have time for this. You have time to save a life. This is the life that you're going to save when someone doesn't get that prescription, doesn't get hooked on an unfortunate opiate, and doesn't change the rest of the lives of the people around them as well. Because remember, for every person who is misusing an opiate, their entire family and community will suffer. So it is as simple as this. You really, truly just download the sample letters. You put your address, you personalize it, you know what's happened in your community, and you send it off. Now, you can contact your local legislative body. That could be the Board of Supervisors or your city council. That is step one. Step two, educate. Here's the letter template. Basically, you can see how simple this is. It can't get much simpler. All it needs is your time, attention, and your true passion of chiropractic to help someone who is hurting. And that is really one of the fundamental keys to life is how do we prevent injury, suffering, and problems? And it's really why I brought up the Aristotle. It's really not about being able to secure pleasure. It's about the ability to avoid pain. So as we go through, you can see if you pass your proclamation, what a proud moment. We highlight our proclamations and we get anywhere from 10 to 20 a year. Are you going to be one of the 1% that is willing to secure with your city council a proclamation to say your city, town is seriously on board with decreasing the number of lives that are changed through the drugs that are used for pain management when chiropractic can be right there with you? You need a little help, a little inspiration? Well, we have it here for you. This is the month to really get involved in your webinar series. It's being able to recognize when and how you can use the information that we give you. And I think as we sharpen the saw and with some of these fabulous people, you can't lose. It's a win-win all the way around. Your patients win because you're more knowledgeable. You yourself win because you're capable of spreading the good word. In the profession itself, well, it's exactly why we need foot soldiers everywhere willing to profess why it is that chiropractic can make such a big difference. When we have infographics and you put them out, make them real to your community. Maybe dig up a few stats on what's happening in your own community. You can go to the CDC site like we did. 1 in 4 patients receiving long-term opioid therapy in a primary care setting struggles with opioid disorder. Those are very real statistics, and you can see how chiropractic improves it. And I also want to remind you that more than 130 million people are still getting opioid prescriptions, and more than 100 million prescriptions are being written. And that was 2022. Now, one would say, Dr. McAllister, why are your stats only 2022? Listen, you go and look at how backlogged the CDC is that they can't even give us 2024 information. Contemplate that. That is a very, very scary thought. And As we go through and you look at these infographics, they really do make a difference in people's lives because they don't know that a chiropractic adjustment can actually provide safer benefits than that over the counter medication, than that pain medication that their physicians gave them. So I really encourage you to get these infographics out during Drug Free Pain Management Awareness Month and even be able to showcase through these podcasts. Listen, Dr. Many of us as doctors want to rely on being able to have a patient come into my office, but I would say have them listen to the podcasts like Sam Kionis. He's a rock star, 2 books, Pulitzer Prize. I mean, just an amazing individual. And he talks about how we got in the opioid epidemic, where are we in the opioid epidemic, and how we're making challenges and changes to the norm, challenges to what is right and just. The Lancet came out in June 2023 to say there is no substantial information to showcase having a prescription for an acute neck or low back pain and giving an opiate. But I also want you to think about the power and choice. What are the advocacies for safe pain relief options? And these are your adjusted reality podcasts available to you so you can share them with your community and they will learn more about what you do and why it's so important. Well, as you know, we want you to keep being alive on your Facebook pages, and that is making sure you change your social media cover photos. And that can be very helpful when you start talking about drug free pain management. As we go through, there are flyers, tip sheets, and blogs available to you for this month. Obviously, the risks of painkillers is a one that I would have in my office. Absolute for sure. Two, perhaps you want to go out into the community and find an avenue that you will feel comfortable sharing where polypharmacy might be one of the most biggest and unfortunate problems, such as many of our aging adults. Where are they? Because many of them are being given multiple prescriptions for many different problems. And unfortunately, those drugs do add up and it causes unsafe, unstable gait, decreased mobility, and that unfortunately leads to a decrease in their stability. So falls are real and we want to prevent. Remember, we started with prevention, and that is why Aristotle was with us today. When you look at types of pain, many patients think about headaches as one of the things that they would take an Aleve or a Tylenol for. I want them to consider if there's other options that are safer, more effective, and with less adverse events. So, how to maximize your chiropractic adjustment is always a good one. But remember, as you go out in the community, a safer strategy than opioids may be the presentation you do. Maybe it's going into the mayor's office and saying, is there anyone you would like me to do a presentation with? Because we have it all done for you. Now, as we go through, one of the big keys to success is being able to update you on a regular basis. And that's what I really love doing. As of yesterday, we just got back from FCA. What a fantastic moment. And I want to thank everyone out there that's listening that was at FCA for coming to our booth to increase their membership to a foundation level or a platinum premier level. These are the keys that help us make progress, and we were very fortunate to honor Dr. Jerry Klum. The legacy and the love that he gave to this profession was by far one of the largest I've ever seen in my lifetime. So thank you to his family. In that picture with our chairman, Kent Greenewalt, is Lauren Klum and Don Klum, and what phenomenal people they are. They're beautiful in every way, and Dr. Klum should be very proud of the people that they are and the people they're becoming. They're just really beautiful. We had some very important people that were there. Dr. Stu Hoffman, Kyra Secure was there, and just really having the ability to showcase, as you can see, FCA, the sponsors, the support, the people, the places that we go. It just is it's a family, and I want you to know that you're truly one of our family. And as we move through, we make progress. It's your progress too. So pat yourself on the back. Progress is being made. I'm going to show you what that means. We are reaching 100 million patients this very year. We're doing it with our rodeo, our pickleball, and our golf commercial. And what a great moment. You're not going to believe this because I barely believed it, but we reached over 400 additional placements on ESPN and Fox Sports for the collaboration we did with the Florida Chiropractic Association. Who would have thought? Can you imagine? And like when one person sees it, they talk about it, but 400 additional placements, 430-second ads, everybody. Like it blows my mind. And I am the president. So I should be like, yeah, no big deal. But 400 in one state, that is true progress. Let's show you what that commercial looked like.
The perfect swing is a complex movement of your neuromusculoskeletal system that places 8 times your body weight on your lumbar spine, making low back pain the number one injury among golfers, followed by the wrists, elbows, and hips. But what happens when your spine can't move correctly? This is where chiropractic comes in. It restores and maintains optimal function between your spine, your nerves, and the rest of your body. Find your perfect swing with chiropractic care.
Isn't that fun? So they're seeing it at firstcp.org/find a doctor. That could be you. Someone's aunt may be in Florida and they know that they need someone in your area. So they actually advertise 400 times. Yes, our Find a Doctor directory did blow up. It's a beautiful thing. And I just want to say to everyone out there, progress gets made when we all come together. And we are showing here the behind the scenes at the Stampede. This commercial will be coming out at the end of the year, and so many fun things that are able to be showcased. And it's really about those 8 seconds. Those 8 seconds as a bull rider or a bareback, all those things that make chiropractic possible. And we have posters. Now, if you have not changed your poster in the last year or two, well, there's no better time than now. You can get them at the Foundation for Chiropractic Progress. We want everyone to know that a chiropractic alignment can change the way you do your sport. And especially if it's golf or pickleball or any other sport. So make your walls alive, make them happen. We're now going to be this month actually starting the pickleball commercial onset of the different ways we can engage the entire family in a one way through pickleball. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And as you know, we have to get out into our communities, and we have little people going back to school. That means backpacks. We have posture that needs to be addressed for our youth all the way up to our geriatrics. I found a statistic from the CDC that 50% of patients that are over the age of 65 cannot stand up straight. That's a shocking statistic. And if you can't stand up straight, well, you know what happens, and that is decreased mobility. So we have a lot to do when we get into our communities. In the middle, you see, are you wearing the right bra? Well, many people are like, that's a question. I don't know. How important is a bra? Ask someone who is really suffering with a hyperkyphotic curvature and wearing the wrong bra. It really does impact your life and increases forward head posture and the ability for a patient to feel comfortable at work or any other activity that they're doing. So please make yourself available in your community so that we can take these media coverages and make them bigger and bolder and more beautiful as we go through. A lovely way to spend some time with ABC7 and Suncoast. But I want to look at the other side of this slide because this is pretty cool. For the first time in chiropractic for us at the foundation level, we were in Women's World. And that meant a lot to me because when I was a little girl, many times women would stand putting their groceries out with my mom, and Women's World would always be the first magazine prominently displayed, and it's still there. I went to the grocery store last week and there it was, Women's World. So we're making progress as we get into these bigger markets. If you didn't download the Medium ad, Touch Therapy, how chiropractic uses neuroscience to improve patient outcomes, that's one for you, doc. The more we educate, the more we're going to push forward in what is right and good. Everyday Health, they get millions of people reading their blogs and their posts. And what is neck and shoulder pain, symptoms, causes, diagnosis, treatment, and prevention. And I'm happy to say, along with the Mayo Clinic, the foundation is in there as well. So use these articles, use them wisely, comment from your perspective on why this article is a good read, and share the good word. That's one of the keys to success. I started with drug-free pain management awareness, but I also want to share with you that we can get it not only in magazines, not only on TV, not only in commercials, but we can go to the air. And yes, during the New Jersey Chiropractic Cooperation, they're going to be flying across Cape May to Bargain Light from the seaside to Sandy Hook, spreading the good word. And that is really the key. And as many of you know, oftentimes as we get older, we tend to slow down. Well, there's no slowing down for this 98-year-old. And I want you to share this podcast because if Elaine Lillane, Jack's wife, and Jack, as you all know, was a fabulous chiropractor. He shared the good word often and wherever he could. Well, she tells the secrets to longevity and health, and she's a spitfire. So please ensure that you look at the marketing roadmap for August, that you follow through with prepping for September, because it really does make a big difference. Now, we wanted to just sweeten the pot for you. And perhaps maybe today's the day because you've never done pickleball and you've been thinking about becoming a member. Well, let me tell you this. During August and September, let's get you a pickleball set. You can become a member today. And by joining either at a foundation level or a premium level, you, in fact, will get a pickleball set sent to your house. So that's $30 a month or $100 a month where you can start to customize and utilize the videos. So it depends on where you are in your practice, but let's utilize $30 a month is a great investment. And it's how we share and educate our communities. So please consider joining today. A pickleball set will be in your future. And then I want to ask you, please join us on Chirothon. It's coming up. It's October 11th through the 13th. You don't have to be on the ground to join. This is the way we celebrate, we elevate, and we support the greatest profession on earth. Because let's face it, there are people that are suffering in pain, and we need to enhance their life free of pain medications, and that unfortunate suffering. Because it is so important that we take the understanding of what a whole being care looks like as chiropractors, and we showcase the benefits of chiropractic care. And if you can't join with membership, maybe today is the day that you donate. Simply, if you've been blessed or your practice is doing well, or you see the need to help get the message out that drug-free pain management awareness is the big deal in September, then I'm going to ask you, even just $5 to advance and educate a life free from pain medications and suffering, rich with understanding of the whole being and how chiropractic can play a role in that. You can go to f4cp.org/donate today. $5, $10, or $15 will help us do more marketing and raise greater awareness on the benefits. And as always, I want to leave you with a final thought. Because of those that are out there, it's a quote from Joel Osteen. I leave you with this. You may have had unfair things happen to you, but the depth of your pain is an indication of the height of your future. Can we make the height of someone who is suffering much better? And I think we can together. So don't forget, drug-free pain management awareness prep starts now. We do it together and we make the world a better place. I look forward to seeing you next month during September's Drug-Free Pain Management Awareness Month.
Isn't it time you join the most powerful team of successful doctors in chiropractic and go for the gold? Simply go to www.f4cp.org/package and get your customized practice success solution.